Hello, everyone. I'm going to take a quick second and pin the video in our group to make it so that more people can hopefully find our live video. Let's see if that will show up. And if you're watching, I'd love to know where you're joining us from and what you've been working on, what's on your needles. So let me know. I've got so far, it looks like 2 are watching. Pin to featured. And we should be good. All right. So happy Wednesday. We made it. I like Wednesdays to kind of be a check-in day, a work in progress day, a welcome day. Welcome to our new members. If you don't know me yet, my name is Jessica. I am kind of the everything behind Double the Stitches, and I'm so happy to see you here today. I'm so happy for all of you who are joining me. I've got some fun stuff to share. And we're going to do one of my most favorite things, which is a progress party or progress parade. And we're going to check in with each other. And so, yeah, if you're watching, let me know that you're here. And you'll have the option, you can type your name along with your comment if you would like, or there is a link if you go to in the description, it should say streamyard.com/Facebook. And then you can give permission for StreamYard just to see your name and your profile picture. And when you do that, thank you, Chantal. Says Chantal is joining us from Ontario in Canada. So I'm happy to see you. So just like this, I would see just your name and along with your comment, but that's certainly not required. But if you want, if you do comment, type your name along with it, and then I'll know who I am chatting with. So I hope you're having a good day today. I hope it's been a good week so far. I hope that that you had a nice weekend, and I hope that you're making progress on your shawls if you have cast on. And I want to celebrate all of that with you. And Sylvia is joining, and she's happy to be here, and I'm happy that you are here too, Sylvia. So let me know if you want, what you're working on, and I'm gonna add those slides that I have for you so we can go through some fun things together. So I have some exciting things to talk about with you all. We're going to talk about how incredibly proud I am of you all. I've seen so many people talk about that they were struggling with some of the stitches in the LYS Love Shawl, and they mastered it, they got it, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about our LYS Love Knit Along, the Knit Night. The first of the Knit Nights is this Saturday. So I will remind you where you can go to sign up for that. And there's no cost to join me for that. It's not going to be recorded, but I'll get into those details too. It's just an opportunity for us to get together, get to know each other, socialize a bit, and work on our projects and all of that. And we'll talk about, we have got a progress party to share, kind of like a little parade, a fashion show of different projects that you've been working on, the LYS shawl in different levels of completeness. And I have a new Stitch Society bonus that I'm going to talk to you all about. And that is a really limited offer, but I want to make sure I share those details with you. And we'll talk about yarn for the shawl, or really for any project, different types of fabrics to look for. But we'll talk about yarn specifically for the LYS shawl, and I have some suggestions. I've seen some of you reach out and say, that you live in a warmer climate and you didn't really want to knit a shawl with wool. So we'll talk about that. And we've got Phyllis is joining us here from Alabama. I'm glad you're here, Phyllis. And then, of course, I'll leave some time at the end for questions and answers. So if you have questions about the shawl or about something else or about the Stitch Society, feel free. You are absolutely welcome to ask. I'll open that up kind of at the end. So that is just kind of a summary of all the things that I want to share with you. So like I mentioned, we have our first knit night is this Saturday night, May 20th. It's at 7 o'clock Eastern. And our second knit night will be on June 10th, also at the same time. And in order to attend, all that you need to do is go to doublethestitches.com/LYS Love Live, and there'll be links to register for those two knit night events. Those are on Zoom, but in order to attend, to keep it private, you just have to register with Zoom. It's just as simple as like your name and your email address. And as I mentioned, those are free for you to attend. And I'd love as many of you to join us as are available. And I hope that you can. Like I mentioned, those are not recorded because I want us to have an opportunity to connect and to be genuine, to be authentic, and to not worry about who might see, or watch. And so I'd like to, you can come as you are and not worry about it being out there on the internet somewhere. So the first one is this Saturday, May 20th at 7 o'clock Eastern time. That's New York time. And I wanted to make sure that I mentioned, I've mentioned it a couple of times, but I'm going to keep talking about it. We are having some giveaways as part of the LYS Shawl Knit Along. And in order to enter to be part of the giveaway, all that you need to do is go to Ravelry, where you downloaded the pattern, to the pattern page and cast on a project and share pictures of your own knitting of the shawl. And we'll do those giveaways will be in June, so I'm giving you plenty of time to enter that. You do not have to have completed the shawl in order to enter. I want to make that clear. I don't want anyone to feel super pressured. I know it's a really busy time of the year for so many of us, especially those who are teachers or have children who are in school. It's kind of that end of the year wrap up and it gets really hectic. So I know that you may not have completed the shawl when we do the giveaway drawings. Those will be random, but in order to get a ticket to the giveaway, an entry into the giveaway, you have to create a project, share what yarn you're using, and a couple pictures of your project in progress. So really easy to do that, and I'll talk more about those prizes next week when we get together at the same time next Wednesday. And so that is the giveaway. So who is ready for some progress party, some inspiration to see what other knitters have been working on? I try my best to gather everyone's project that has posted theirs in the Facebook groups so that I can share who it is and what you're working on and how you're doing with it. So I'd like to celebrate you all. As I said, so many of you are maybe knitting lace for the first time or doing stitches you haven't done before, or maybe you haven't worked a project this size before. And I am just over the moon thrilled with how you are all doing. And I hope that you are all proud of yourselves too, because we all deserve praise. We all deserve to be celebrated. And so I like when we do a big event like this to take some time out of our days and really celebrate how well we're all doing. And for those of you maybe who have struggled but have persevered, an extra, kudos goes to you too. And we've got Rosemary joining us here too from Tennessee. So hello to you, Rosemary. Thank you for joining. So I've gathered a bunch of pictures for you all and the comments kind of that went along with it. So the first up is Shelly, who I think is absolutely brilliant. I didn't think of this myself when I was knitting my shawl, but when I knit another one, I think I'm going to do this too. She knit the side, so she finished her lace panel and she blocked it, and then she picked up the stitches and she's knitting the side panels two at a time to make it easy to keep track, to make sure that she's done the same number of rows. She doesn't have to count or make sure that, she's knit the same length on those panels before doing the lace border. And it's also one of the things, if you've ever knit socks two at a time, it's nice to know that when you're done, you are done. There's no second sock syndrome, second sleeve syndrome, second side syndrome. When you bind off those last stitches, you have completed your project. You can do this working from two separate balls of yarn. So if you weren't sure about how much yarn you would have left, this is a great way where you can divide the amount of yarn you have left and then just work until you finish it. Sylvia says she would love to try this, and I think it's brilliant. Shelly. So you get a thumbs up from me on this idea. And she has actually finished. She's cast it off, and she just has to block the completed shawl. And so there's that extra blocking step in there, and I just want to encourage you to actually go through with blocking it in the middle of the project, because it allows you to really see what the finished size of your center lace panel is going to be, so that you can make informed decisions and decide how long you want those side panels. I put in that stockinette stitch there because it gives a really easy place for you to adjust the length of your shawl. So maybe you want to make it extra long to make it extra cozy, you can do that. Or maybe you're not super tall and you don't want something, super overwhelming in size. So you can easily shorten it there too. And we also have one of our friends says, I love the idea of knitting the two panels at the same time. I knit socks that way. Excellent. So I love to, when I see strokes of brilliance like this, I like to share them with you all. Just remember, you have to make sure to, work from either two separate balls or the ends of two ends of the same cake of yarn is another way to do it. And just make sure that you don't keep knitting across all the stitches, or your panels will be connected and that won't be any fun. And Carol is a busy knitter. She got a great start on her LYS Love Shawl, and she's also knitting a sweater at the same time. So that is definitely busy and ambitious, and you'll have beautiful projects. And I can't wait to see. I hope you'll share the sweater with us too, Carol. We'd love to see what you're up to. And Dorothy says, I'm a left-handed knitter, so I was a little concerned about the left and the right hand slanting stitches, but decided to just follow the pattern and see what happened. And I think that it looks beautiful. I commented on your photo to keep going, keep it up. And it really does. I think it looks great. You've got the nice flow of the stitches. And so great job to you, Dorothy. And Katha says, pattern printed, yarn chosen. She's using 3 colors of Nuna from Mirasol, which is one of my favorite yarns. It's just luxurious feeling in your hands to knit, and even more when you are wearing the finished project. So she's got her needles collected. She's got her project bag packed. And I believe she shared that she is headed out of town for something, but I don't offhand remember where it is. Or maybe this is just for her to knit on the go. So when you watch this, Katha, let us know, is this for a regular everyday on the go knitting, or are you traveling somewhere fun? We'd love to know what you're up to. And Chantel says, beautiful. And I really can't wait to see this and how you incorporate the different colors. It's going to be so beautiful. And Phyllis shared that she cast on, and until row 4 all was well. So this is a skill builder for me. I dug out monotone worsted weight and practiced rows 1 through 12. I highly recommend a sample 1 pattern repeat if these are new stitches to you. I didn't want to make the same mistakes 10 times in the same row. The video on row 4 was perfect, so thank you. And thank you. I'm so glad that you found it helpful. I want to see if I don't have a banner, but I'll put the link in the comments for you all with the link to the videos in case you haven't had a chance to watch the videos for the shawl. I show you also, there's a picture where I show you row 4 and the difference between that slip purl stitch, working it slipping the stitches and then working it as a regular purl together, or working it as a purl 2 together through the back loop, really makes a difference in how that stitch looks and how the stitches just kind of flow into each other. So it's a little fiddly, but like Phyllis suggested, definitely make a swatch and you can practice those stitches without worrying about making the same mistake across the row and having to rip out a bunch of work. And swatches are great for practicing because it's a smaller piece, it's more focused. You don't have to keep track as you work all the way across, a whole bunch of stitches, and you can take them out at the end and use that yarn in your finished project. So practice makes progress is what one of my boys' teachers said. She, my son's teacher said that practice makes progress. And I think that that is such an important way to look at things. And it's kind of been a little bit of my motto as I'm teaching, that I think as adults, we forget that sometimes it's going to take us a few tries to get to where we want to be. You know, children stumble and fall so many times before they master learning to walk. And as adults, I think we're not used to that uncomfortable feeling of not being good at something because it's new to us. And so definitely celebrate your progress, and that's why I like to have these progress parties, to celebrate where you started and where you've been and where you're headed. And we've got some more comments here in the chat. So Rosemary says, thank you for sharing the link again. Almost ready to begin anew as the baby shower is Sunday. So wonderful, wonderful. I will post that link again. And let's see if I can add it here. Let's see if I can grab that link. All right, here is. Okay, and I will also put it in the comments that's on YouTube, and let's add it here on Facebook too. Okay, on the go, adding the comments for you all. So definitely take that time and celebrate your progress is what I want to make sure that you do. We also have Shelly joining. She came in late, but she finished blocking it last night. I can't wait to see your finished shawl, Shelly. I sang your praises in the beginning, how brilliant and how just wonderful it is, the idea that you had to knit the side panels at the same time. And someone says 7-inch of stockinette on our side, I think right side. Might be where they are up to. I don't know if that's you, Sylvia, or someone else. Okay, so what else do I have to share with you all today? So Jane has her yarn ready to go. She's using Queen City yarn, a superwash merino, in, as she describes it, a luscious color, and I wholeheartedly agree. That is such a beautiful, vibrant color. I love knitting shawls because they're a great way to add a pop of color or an extra light little layer to an outfit. And they can really, pick up colors that are in something that you're wearing, or just be a beautiful accent, just something fun to wear. So I love your color, and I can't wait to see your shawl when you knit it. And Karen has two going on. She's using, I think, two different yarns. One is Bamboo Pop from Universal Yarn, and I'm not sure offhand of the other yarn that she's using. And Stacy shared her progress so far, and I love that really delicate, soft shade that you're using, and it's looking beautiful. And you've got a little bit more to go, but you should be getting close, and I'm excited to see what it all looks like when it comes together. So great work, Stacy. And I think this is a different Stacy, or maybe another picture of it. The center panel is in progress. And Katrina shared that I finally figured out that SSP stitch. I was so excited yesterday when I finally got it, and I had no one to tell. So I'll share it here. And I'm so, so glad that you did. It is so fun to conquer new things, she says. This is my first time doing any kind of lace, and I'm very proud that the pattern is actually recognizable. And I really encourage you all, when you're knitting a new project, if you have the opportunity to try something different that you haven't tried before. It's only yarn, it's only time. And if you get it wrong, you pull it back out and you start over again. And it might feel a little frustrating, but as I said, that practice makes progress. And as a knitter myself, that's most of the time what I do. If I'm casting on something, especially if I'm knitting something from another designer, I always try to add something, a technique or a different cast on or a different way of doing things that I haven't before, because that is what grows my, what I like to call my toolbox of knowledge. yarny knowledge to be specific, but it's a great way. Sometimes, a swatch for a project I think is wonderful for so many reasons, but I also love that motivation to try something new, that you see a picture of a pattern or you see something in a yarn shop and you fall in love with it, and you should try it, because that's the best way to learn, I find, is to actually put the yarn on the needles and just give it a go. And Katrina also said, although my gauge is way off, even though I went down needle size, my shawl is 19 inches wide. So that is also, as I mentioned, that beautiful thing about the way this shawl is constructed, that it gives you that flexibility. If your center panel is much wider than anticipated, you can knit fewer rows on the side panels to get to a finished length, whatever that finished length is that you want it to be. So I like the way that it's kind of modular, and it gives you that ability to change it, to really make it your own. And when you block it, you'll really see what the actual dimensions are, and you can, keep that in mind. If you were knitting a scarf and you were to ask, how long should the scarf be? And this answer surprises people often. So if you're knitting something that was a scarf, and this is a little bit wider, so it became a shawl and not a scarf, but something that, using your own height as the length of a scarf is a good estimate for something that will wrap around you in a nice and cozy way without being overwhelming. I made this a little bit longer, a little bit more of a generous size, because I wanted you to have that ability, to really, to wrap it around and to feel the love that we have for yarn, the love that we have for our yarn shops and for each other. So, and Pamela, I don't think she thought I was going to share this picture, but I did. She said, I don't think you want to see a photo of my past 10 days progress. I turned my mom's weed-filled front yard into essentially bare dirt because there was no grass left. But as I said, I think that all progress, all things should be celebrated. And so I know how hard you must have worked to do that for your mom. And I am sure that she is grateful. And sometimes we need to get those big, big rocks, big life things out of the way, so that we can focus, and not feel the stress of things, on our to-do list. So I hope that you'll be able to, once you have started to feel better and all those muscles are not so achy and sore, I hope that you will have some time to relax, to self-soothe, and to enjoy some time with your yarn. So, surprise, Pamela, I included the picture. And so the other thing I wanted to talk to you all about is the Stitch Society membership. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about it. I've talked about it a bunch, so I'm not going to talk about everything that is part of it, but I am going to also have a special Q&A session for the Stitch Society membership, so that if you have questions, you can come hop on Zoom with me, and I will post more information and email you about that too. But I wanted to talk about what the Stitch Society is. If you're watching and you don't know, I want to make sure I share those details with you. But first, a sip of water. Okay, so the Stitch Society membership is a small, tight-knit community. It is a place where you can find companionship, camaraderie, and your new favorite yarny friends who are waiting to welcome you into the membership. And I am adding a new bonus for the next 25 members, and I know that we have some Stitch Society members who may be watching us, so I want to say up front that if you're a current Stitch Society member, you will also get this bonus. So I like to love on my members, and I did this in the winter. I did this in December. I sent everyone who was currently a member in December a surprise holiday gift from me, literally physically in the mail. Anyone who shared their mailing address with me, it's not required, but if you would like a gift from me, then I would need you to share your address. So I'm going to mail everyone in August, which is my birthday month. I want to give you all a gift as a thank you to show my appreciation. And so for the next 25 members who join before the cart closes on the membership, before the doors close for the membership in a couple of weeks, you will get a surprise gift from me mailed to you at your home. And it's a secret. It's in the works, and I don't want to spoil the surprise, but it will take some time for it to be created, and it will be a physical gift from me to you as I celebrate my birthday. So I like to love on you all. So you get all the other things that are in the membership, but in addition to that, in August, you'll receive a gift from me. So I'm really excited about that, and I'll share a little bit more about what is included sort of quickly. We're going to go here first. So you get a pattern from me every single month. Most months it will be a brand new pattern. Sometimes you'll have the ability, I'll share a code where you can pick a pattern from, I have 44 patterns published at the moment. So you'll get sometimes a choice, a couple times a year, a choice of any pattern in my catalog of patterns. Most months you'll get a brand new pattern from me. You get priority pattern support. So if you're not understanding how to do a specific stitch or understanding a line of instruction in a pattern, reach out to me and I will help you. You get the growing stitch and technique library. You get to rescue you when you're stuck. So even the most recent thing I added to that was showing you how to do a garter tab cast on for a triangular shawl. And that is going to be kind of a series. I'm going to share cast ons and basic information for knitting different shawls, because sometimes you don't need a complicated, difficult pattern. Sometimes you just have beautiful yarn and you just want to cast on and knit the yarn you have. So that's a series that's going to be showing up in the library. The Mosaic Knitting Challenge is in there. So if you've ever wanted to do mosaic knitting, there's, I walk you through all of that. And you get 2 monthly private stitch sessions, which I attend along with other members. And we kind of get together as a group. We just had our first one of the month was yesterday afternoon. And a lot of people ask about when those are held. So I'll just quickly say that we have members all the way from California to England. And so I have to find a way to kind of accommodate all the different time zones. So those typically I'll have one during the week during the daytime. And then I will also typically have one that is either in the evening or during over the weekend, most of the time in the afternoon. So that's the 2 private stitch sessions on Zoom, where it's a great time to connect with the other members, to catch up with what everyone has been up to. It is also a time to work on your projects. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. I find myself often offering little tips and tricks or things that are on my mind relating to, yarn and knitting when we get together. There's also unlimited Zoom chats. So I've taken my Zoom account and created a special Zoom meeting link where Stitch Society members can get together anytime that they want, because we're all over across many different time zones and I might not be available when you are. So members are welcome to use that room and post in our private membership group and say, hey, I'd like to get together on Thursday at 4 o'clock. And others who are available at that same time can comment and you can all meet up. You also get free admission to my future workshops, and those range from $37 to $50 for admission to those. So those are also free for members. There are also bonuses. So the workshops that I have taught previously are available in our classroom, where you can watch the Beginner's Guide to Lace Knitting. You can learn to conquer cable knitting. You can also learn to fix your own mistakes with the Oops workshop. There are 2 workshops planned coming up throughout the rest of the year. In June, after we're finished with the LYS Love Shawl Knit Along, we're going to do a taste of brioche. I'm always looking to find out from my members what works best for them. So these other workshops I've done kind of in 2 hour, marathon, we'll call them mini marathons, but 2 hours of sitting and learning. And the brioche workshop, we're going to slow things down. It's a busy time of the year. Brioche can feel scary. And so I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed. And so we're going to do a lesson a week, and we'll do it over a few weeks, but we're going to do um, brioche in the round. We'll do brioche flat. I'll talk about increases and decreases, and most importantly, how to fix your brioche knitting if you make a mistake. And then in the fall, we're going to do a workshop on knitting socks. Step by step is what I called it. And because these are bigger workshops and they'll be over a few weeks. So these workshops would be $50 for the workshops. But as a Stitch Society member, you get access to these free. You get to attend them for free. These are all recorded. So even if you can't make, if live scheduling is difficult because of your schedule or because you work or have other things going on. So anytime I teach a workshop, it's always recorded because I want you also to be able to go back with on-demand access to watch it. If you are trying to do something that I'm teaching, I want you to have access to it to rewatch it and anytime that you need it. So that's $317 in workshops alone. And you also get an ongoing discount on yarn and needles at the Spinning Hand. So there's a special code just for members to use while they are active Stitch Society members. You can go to spinninghand.com. Her prices are wonderful to begin with. And then you get a discount. It can't be combined with other discounts, but you're welcome to use that discount anytime and as often as you would like. So I want to talk about how much the membership is. Sorry about that back and forth on the slides, friends. So I have it set up with 3 options for the pricing. And there are some workshops, things that I've seen some memberships where you don't get everything unless you pay for, the annual plan up front. And I didn't want to set this up that way because we all have different financial obligations and different financial pictures. And so nothing is held back if you prefer, if monthly works better for your financial situation. But you do get, if you pay upfront for 6 months or for the year, then it's a discounted price. So if you paid upfront for the year, then you just have one payment to worry about once a year. It works out to be about a 20% savings, which is also could be looked at as getting 2 months for free. And for some people, I had members reach out and say, they wanted to join, but they didn't want to do monthly. They wanted to save a little. So I also offer a 6-month option. So you do save a little bit off the monthly price. I think it works out to be about 10% that you save, or 1 month free over the course of the year. So you can pick whichever option works well for you. And here, hopefully, maybe. Sorry, the slides are not in the order I wanted them to. So if you wanted to find out more about the Stitch Society membership and everything that's included, because I didn't want to keep you here too long, doublethestitches.com/Stitch Society. The doors are currently open and they will be closing in June. If you want the gift from me in August, you would need to be one of the first 25 new members to join. And of course, like I mentioned, if anyone is joining late, if you're a current active member of the Stitch Society, you'll get the birthday gift from me too. So that you're welcome to ask if you have any questions. And Sylvia shared a comment when I talked about the birthday gift. She said, "How awesome is this? Thank you. It is my pleasure to treat you and to love on you all." And Oh, and we also have a comment from Chantel says, I decided to knit the LYS Love Cowl to give me some practice as I never knitted lace. I went to my stash and found skeins of lantern from Pearl Soho that is 61% cotton and 39% linen. I also have some Brooklyn Dapple, which is a DK yarn somewhere in my stash, which is beautiful. I can't wait to hear which one you picked. I know that you weren't sure which was the right yarn to use, so I think those are good choices too. And that was a reminder again, if you're just joining us, that our knit night, our first knit night is this Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern. You need to register with Zoom, and the link for that is doublethestitches.com/LYS Love Live. I'll make sure all of those links are there for you. But now let's talk about yarn. Okay, so a lot of you don't live in the Northeast like I do, or you want yarn that is good for this time of year. You know, you'll knit it, you'll finish it, and it'll be a while before it starts to get chilly again. Even here in New York, it doesn't really start to get chilly again until kind of October these days. So I put together just a couple of options. These are by no means an exhaustive list of all of the options, but these are some ideas. So if you want, these are some options. These are all DK weight yarns. The Bamboo Pop, the second one there on the list, is a little bit thinner, and also the Creative. So you can, play things out, do a little swatch, see if you want to drop down maybe from the US 9 needle to maybe a US 8. But you can, you want the fabric to be something that you're going to love wearing. Jody Long Summer Delight I is a DK weight yarn, and Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl used that as the yarn for the sample. So if you look at their Facebook page or Instagram, you'll see their shawl. It's in a really pretty bright color, like a bluish color, tealish. And so you can see what their shawl looks like in it's 90% organic cotton, 10% cashmere. Universal Yarn Bamboo Pop is a nice budget-friendly yarn. It's 50% cotton, 50% bamboo, but it feels really wonderful. That bamboo gives it a nice cool texture and a nice, lightweight to it. And I think that you would love it. And I think it is Rose and Roses used Bamboo Pop for their shawl. If you look on Ravelry, it's a bright green shawl. There was someone who had created a project page on Ravelry, but they didn't add more pictures. They are using Madeline Tosh, Tosh Wool and Cotton, which is 50% merino wool, 50% Pima cotton, and Euro Yarns EYB. Creative DK has alpaca, cotton, and modal, which is another nice choice. It's not full on wool. So those are some ideas for if you live in a warmer climate, or you want to knit this so that it's something that you can wear in the warm weather. The other thing, if you do go with wool, is so much of our world these days is often air conditioned. So you go out to, maybe you treat yourself and you go out for dinner and the restaurant is air conditioned, or you're out at night and there's that cool summer evening breeze. Sometimes it's nice to have kind of a lightweight shawl that has wool to keep you cozy. So those are some summer yarn ideas for you. And then I just have, I'll open it up for some Q&A if anyone has any questions for me. Chantel says, thank you. So I hope that you, yeah, I think the yarns that you suggested, the ones that you found already in your stash, um, are good options. We have a question. Let me get the answer for you. I don't have it memorized. Let's see if this one will open. Here we go. All right, so let's see if I can stop sharing that and see if I can share window. Let's see. Okay, so this is the LYS shawl pattern, and will it get bigger? Oh, that works. Nope. No. I'm sorry, friends. Okay. So I'm just going to answer you. We'll do it like this. Okay. So the details page is here. Fabulous. Okay. So the center lace panel, if you look, so mine after blocking was 11 inches tall or 27.5 centimeters. And the width of it was 40 inches wide or 100 centimeters. And so it's a good portion of the shawl is the center lace panel there. So if you look in the pattern, you'll also see this in case you're not taking notes. So it is on page 3, which is the page that has all of the information about the gauge and all of that stuff. So, okay. And now we have a comment here from Betty Sue, says, just chose my yarn. Yarn be bambootiful in basil. I think that's a great choice, Betty Sue. And I can't wait to see how your project comes out. I think bamboo is a really nice choice for the weather when it's warm. I really enjoy working with the bamboo pop. I haven't used the yarn bee version of it, but it's such a nice it's a nice soft fiber. So I think that you'll love it, and I can't wait to see your shawl. Okay. Anyone else have any questions for me about the shawl or the membership or anything else? And I will be in your inbox for the whatchamacallit? Oh, for the knit night. Let's see if I can share that again on the screen. So this is for the LYS Love Live, I was calling it. The knit night. So it's this Saturday, May 20th. And I am so excited to have a chance to get together with you all. As I said, it's not recorded, so come as you are. Bring your snacks, bring your yarn, bring a favorite beverage, whatever that may be. No judgment, no questions. And we have a question. I came in late. Did you talk about what kind of bind off to use for the center lace section? So I will just, let's see if I can show this. So when I did my shawl, I have to press the right button. Okay, so when I did my shawl, I just used a regular standard bind off. And some of my test knitters preferred a stretchy bind off. So that is really up to you. Some of them bound off with a larger needle. But I'm going to show you on here we go. This is the tutorial page, and I put those link in the comments for you all. It's doublethestitches.com/LYS love shawl videos. Let's close my little chat bot there. So when you go to this page, there is the replay. If you haven't watched it yet and you'd like to, the full recording of the cast on party is there. And then to make things easier for you, I kind of broke out the videos that I shared during the cast on party. So if you're just looking for help, for example, with picking up stitches or estimating your yarn for long tail cast on or the stretchy bind off optional videos. So these will bring you directly to the video if you click those buttons. So there is a video, like, so here in the note it says I used just standard bind off and bound off loosely, but some of my test knitters preferred a stretchy bind off. So I have a video for you to share. When I did that, I remove that. Okay. So when I did the stretchy bind off, I basically I knit two together. I brought that stitch back to the left. I knit another one, brought it back to the left needle, and knit those two together rather than the bind off where you slip the one stitch over. And that gave a nice amount of stretch, but there's no knitting police and it is knitter's choice. So you can bind off a few of the stitches if you want with a regular bind off, just kind of, giving yourself some slack in the yarn and see how that goes. Or you can also try this stretchy bind off that I used, or in the videos, or anything that you prefer. So I am happy that I'm able to answer that. And again, the video of the way the stretchy bind off that I like is there on the tutorial page for you too. Okay. Anyone else have anything for me? Any questions or anything else I can do to help you all? And keep posting those pictures, and don't forget about the giveaway if you create a project on Ravelry, and share your yarn that you used and share pictures of your shawl in progress. You'll have an entry into our giveaways. Right now, those are a surprise, but I am going to share more information with you about those soon. But they're good. I promise they're good. All right. So if no one has any other questions for me, then I am going to sign off, and thank you all so much for joining me. And again, remember, only the first current Stitch Society members plus the next 25 to join will get a gift from me in celebration of my birthday in August. So doublethestitches.com/Stitch Society is where you would go. And I'll put all of those links in the comments to make it easier for you all. So thank you all so much for watching and for joining me. And this is recorded so you can watch and rewatch anytime. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you all soon. Take care, friends. Thank you for watching.